Barbarian Hut were still viable cards, so if you did see the Elixir Golem, it was usually with them. You still saw the Battle Healer in Elixir Golem decks, but because of the hit she took, it obviously hurt the combo strength. Another likely contributor to the Yharon's downfall was thanks to the Royal Delivery. The reason I'm bringing this up is because it was rumored that this card was specifically released to help deal with the Elixir Golem. This is because it dealt enough damage to fully take out the Elixir Blob, which no other spell under 4 Elixir could do at the time of the Elixir Golem's release. Sure, the arrows could deal with it by this point, but it's good to have multiple options of competition and allow for flexibility if they decided they needed to nerf the arrow's damage later. The Royal Delivery received a 27% damage buff at the same time as the Hut and Halo nerfs, which made it prevalent in the May 2020 season. So although the Elixir Golem received no nerfs directly, a lot of cards related to him in one way or another were changed in ways to make him worse in the meta. But the following month, Royal Delivery and Bomb Tower would get nerfed, which helped Elixir Golem to be able to sprout again. With the rise of Barb Hut and Heal Spirit and the addition of Skeleton Dragons as a new strong support card, things would turn around as quickly as they got bad in the first place. I don't want to keep going over every single balance change of every single card related to the Elixir Golem and pinpointing exactly how much it rose and fell each season because of it. But I wanted to go over some of it just to emphasize how this card's usage was like a roller coaster and show that it wasn't settling in one place despite getting no balance changes to be genuine. To give you an idea for the rest of 2020, the card's use rate was mainly hovering around 4 to 5% in Grand Challenges, with no new major developments. However, towards the very end of the year, it did begin to dip and dipped as low as only 1% usage in the Grand Challenges, below what was considered to be viable rates. This is easily explained if you look at the December 2020 balance changes where both the Barbarian Hut and the Heal Spirit were harshly nerfed. Supercell had been nerfing every major support card the Elixir Golem worked well with, and the December balance changes were essentially the nail in the coffin. Even untouched synergizers like the Rage Spell and Electro Dragon couldn't save it because they were dependent on the other cards in the deck being good. It was official, the Elixir Golem was no longer competitively viable. 2021 was a very bad year for the Elixir Golem. It clearly wasn't in a good place, but nobody was exactly clamoring for a flop. It would not receive any balance changes throughout all of 2021. I checked dozens of stats throughout the entire year, and at no point did the Elixir Golem's use rate surpass 3% in Grand Challenges, with the exception of a very brief period in early April 2021 where it rose to 8%. This was thanks to a huge buff to the Elite Barbarians, which made them incredibly strong. This Elixir Golem deck was trending for about 1 week before the Elite Barbarians were emergency nerfed and the rates sunk back down like a rock. Since that is literally the only notable event related to Elixir Golem in 2021, we're going to jump right to 2022. Clearly, nothing was changing with the card. You weren't seeing it flex in and out of the meta like in 2020, it was just a continuation of 2021, always hovering around that 1 to 2% usage rate. From around April to July, if you did see the Elixir Golem, it was usually played with the newly buffed Mirror, which could now level cards 2 levels higher than its own instead of 1. The Mirror works pretty well with the Battle Healer because the healers could heal each other, which allowed them to heal for much longer. But I hesitated to even mention this development because these Elixir Golem Mirror decks didn't appear to be that popular. The Elixir Golem was commonly agreed upon by the community that it was a weak card, but no one was quite sure what the best way to balance this card would be. People liked the idea of the mechanic behind it, but people hated Elixir Golem metas, even if there was a way to get him into a